Hey, ground forces, lay down some fire!
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here. First video of the day, and woo-wee! It is shills versus haters and an epic battle for the review supremacy online. That's right, the world premiere of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker was last night, and zoinks! Now, I will tell you, this video shouldn't have any spoilers in it, so you should be fine to watch it. I know a lot of you last night on Twitter were a little fairly spicy with me for sharing some spoilers without warning, and I hear you and I will adjust. Side note, I also started a new channel where I take all my videos for the day. That means 3 to 5 videos on the quartering plus whatever I upload on Midwestly, and they go in one edited, one long video with some cuts so it's a little bit flowy better. That channel is called The Quartering Daily. I'll leave a link in the description below, but you don't have to subscribe to it. I will also prominently feature the playlist on both Midwestly and The Quartering. So if you're somebody that wants to just get home after work and watch the whole long episode, or you want to watch the video tomorrow, you can get it right on either channel without having to subscribe to yet another channel. But if you're the person that wants to get the notification when that video goes live, subscribe so that way you don't miss anything. I think this would be a nice little happy medium for people that miss videos throughout the day, or people want to just listen to them while they're driving, or whatever the case may be. Anyway, let's get to it. The world premiere of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker was last night, and the internet is abuzz with either what can best be described as literal shills and haters right now. I mean, all reviews are either 0 out of 10 or 11 out of 10. I mean, when you read all the reactions, but I wanted to do a little bit of a roundup and go through what people are actually saying and give some color around who they might be in the industry when it's possible. Now, Screen Crush put together a few reaction to the film saying, on Monday night in LA, Star Wars saga ended. There was a venue of the world premiere. It was a venue of the world premiere of The Rise of the Skywalker, the ninth and allegedly final film in the saga that began in 1977 with George Lucas' Star Wars at a packed auditorium full of special guests, paid shills, including Steven Spielberg, Spike Lee, Joel Cohen, don't care about any of these people, stars of the film like Mark Hamill, Daisy Ridley, yeah. There were select critics and members of the press in attendance. Well, let me be very clear. These are the ones that they knew would safely write good things for the most part. There is an embargo, I believe, on reviews until Wednesday, I think. So we're going to know more when the official reviews come out. Which meant they got to be the first people in the world to file Twitter reviews of the film. On the whole, they called it massive and satisfying, and they absolutely loved it. Although there were definitely some mixed reviews as well. Now, in the very, very beginning, I'm going to guess that most reviews skew towards overly positive. You're just going to have people, first of all, in the early stages, you have the ultimate fans. The people that camped out, that bought tickets months ago, seeing reviews, and just aren't going to see any flaws in the film. And you know what? That's okay. I'm that way about certain movie franchises as well. Rambo, for example, Rocky movies, Creed, all that. I like them. I'm not there to like pick them apart. I'm just there to get more of something I like. So I'm not like hating on people that are overly positive, but it's funny just like how over the top. You have Rob Kress, who says, just stepped out of Rise of the Skywalker. It's immensely satisfying and massive end of the saga. It somehow addresses issues, problematic characters, and the most unanswered questions from The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi too. Maybe. But then you have Jenna coming in and saying, these are all certified blue check marks, of course. Oh my God, I'm absolutely blown away. I've never been so satisfied with the film. This is the end of an era and a franchise that has defined my life, and it did it justice in the way I imagined it would. You will cry. I doubt it. When people talk about Star Wars, according to Anthony Brezikin, people talk about Star Wars, they talk about other childhoods, their childhoods for best memories, the people they loved and shared. Brings back, I absolutely loved it. Now I feel sad. Yolanda Machado. So I'm not too surprised at the times I felt too much fan service was given. But the rise of Skywalker is everything and nothing you're expecting. So I guess my immediate reaction is, God, I love this franchise and I'll miss the Skywalker saga. Remember that fan service is code words, is a coded word from critics who hate fandoms. I'm not kidding. There are a lot of people out there that say, well, I didn't like Avengers Endgame because it was basically a 3-hour fan service film. Now, maybe that's true, but the fans are the ones that are paying to see the movie. And the fans are the ones that have invested 30, 40, 50 hours into watching the films, hundreds of hours into watching the films. A little fan service is never, ever a bad thing. Any critic saying it is will tell you, you'll know exactly where they stand. Then you have, Maude Garrett. I realized in the first 20 minutes of Star Wars that it's the best film of the trilogy, and it kept getting better right through the end. So we know, okay, that's some of the positive. We know there'll be an unending wave of positive shill-type reviews. Now, my prediction for the Rotten Tomatoes review is going to put this film right between or right above The Force Awakens. Obviously, it'll be better, higher than The Last Jedi. So it's either going to go The Rise of Skywalker, Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, or The Force Awakens will file right in the middle. If you only look at these kind of Hollywood elite reviews, you'd think, whoa, this movie's going to get like a 95, which maybe. But then you have, here's a guy, John Campea, who's definitely a paid Star Wars shill, saying maybe not so positive things. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker reaction. There are a few great moments, but I'm sure a lot of people are going to love this movie. Unfortunately, I'm just not one of them. Hopefully, I'll like it a little bit more after I see it again tomorrow. Why would you watch it twice if you didn't like it? I don't understand. I also want to point out that this may be clickbait, because this is literally the exact same thing he said about The Last Jedi. Quote, Star Wars: The Last Jedi reaction. Some big, great moments, and I think a lot of people will love it. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them. I mean, it's just, you're allowed to change your mind, obviously, but it's a little odd. Then you have Scott Mendelson, which is one of the best Hollywood troll reviewers out there, often offering a hot take, who is often, blamed the fandom, and he doesn't let you down now here, too, going on to say, at worst, I expected The Rise of Skywalker to be a well-made movie that I didn't like or whose story choices I disagreed with. I was not expecting a genuinely bad movie with video game plotting, thin characters, weak action, and endless exposition of no consequence. Heartbreaking. But Scott Mendelson also said right before that, so hashtag Rise of the Skywalker, in the end, it was the Star Wars fans that killed Star Wars. Isn't that interesting? I feel like this is a continuation of the conversation or the narrative that where the media gets a lot of clicks and a lot of clout with their friends in the media by dumping on the fans. The fans react, and then they get a lot of clicks, so then they write more negative articles about fans, when at no point do they actually realize that they're in fact the ones who are negative. But then we can look at some more roundups here from Cinema Blend saying, well, The Rise of Skywalker is a drastic departure from The Last Jedi, but also not as invigorating as TFA. That's kind of where I expected it to be. But also, it is a movie that is packed with action. It's seriously nonstop, but also jammed with fan service. Star Wars fans, brace for the debates. Then you got Hollywood. Look, if Josh Gad is a Hollywood guy, anybody who's from Hollywood saying a Hollywood movie is good should just be automatically ignored. But here's an interesting little tidbit out of all this. George Lucas actually didn't attend the premiere, which is really bizarre. This is being reported by TVs and Movies saying George Lucas isn't at the Rise of Skywalker premiere. Reporters are speculating it's because of what JJ and Iger did to him was intentional, and JJ rewriting the original trilogy trilogy, Anakin arc is not approved by George. Wouldn't that be interesting to have a rift? Now, look, I'll tell you this. You may out there, you might not agree with me, but dude, you cashed the check. I don't really like your opinion is valid, but you cashed the check, George Lucas. And if you don't like what they're doing with it now, maybe you shouldn't have sold it. I mean, you have how many billions of dollars you got for selling the franchise. I'm sure you're getting lucrative licensing deals still on the back end. Like, it's not a good look, in my opinion, for Lucas. Now, I do like that he cares about the sequels and the trilogies and stuff. But we just saw too Kathleen Kennedy, who may not be long for this industry, coming out and saying that they're going to bail on doing trilogies now, which of course they are, because if you say you're going to do a trilogy and it stinks, you're locked in for 2 more movies. And I think that that's reasonable. Standalone movies can be good. I think they look at the success of things like The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. The interesting thing is, if you put The Mandalorian in the box office, it would never have made $1 billion like these other trilogies did. And obviously, The Force Awakens is going to make $1 billion as well. Will it make all of the money? That's what the real question will be. Eric Eisenberg says, there is good in Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, but there is more that is just disappointing. There are a number of choices that don't work, fan service that doesn't work, and ignore details that are missed. I'm bummed. I don't understand, again, Eisenberg, he's from Cinema Blend. Here's Jake Hamilton. He's got an Emmy. He's in Hollywood. Let's see. What do we think? Do we think he's going to say something positive? The Rise of Skywalker is everything I wanted it to be, because there's never been a Star Wars movie like it before. Dark, scary, but hopeful and beautiful. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just disregard anybody in Hollywood's opinions on it, You see Roxane Gay saying, I really enjoyed Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. It offered a very satisfying conclusion to the 9-movie arc, the strongest of the last trilogy. A few silly parts, but overall a darn good movie. Adam Driver was excellent, better than he had to be. Fans won't be disappointed. What do you mean better than he had to be? They're all supposed to be the best they possibly can be. They're all making millions of dollars. They're dealing with the most beloved franchise in history. They should all be maxing out their talent and pushing themselves consistently. But this will be an interesting time. Now, obviously, I predict the movie will not be as good as the shills say, and it will not be as bad as the haters say. It'll probably be low 90s critic score, mid 80s Rotten Tomatoes, or fan score. Mid 80s, maybe it might get into the high 70s, but we don't know how much curating we're going to see done by these review sources, because what we can say is already sites like IMDb are quickly deleting reviews. There was a review yesterday, 10 out of 10. LMAO, trolls are already coming in. Not surprised. Go watch the movie first instead of spamming the ratings. Y'all get mad when saying you're not trolls. Well, giving it a 1 out of 10 and saying, Rian Johnson ruined it, wah, 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 wah. Grow up and go see the film first. Clearly written by someone who hasn't seen the film either. See, nobody ever talks about the positive, basically bot shill reviews. They only talk about the negative ones. They're like, we'll take the you never saw it 10 out of 10s, but whoa, the you never saw it 1 out of 10. We've got to do something about this toxic fan culture. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.